Live from Pennsylvania and Florida.
Coming at you live.
It's the old fat. I don't freaking know.
That
Episode
podcast
12.
named after a drink.
Episode 12. I got my. Oh, did I spill coffee? I'm like, I did. No. No, it's not serious. Don't worry. It's just a little coffee on my chair.
Oh, dude, I was about to say, holy crap.
No, it's nothing serious. I had a call with the Lightning a few weeks ago, and I spilled coffee all over my desk mid-call. That was fun.
Was it embarrassing?
Semi.
Were you slightly embarrassed?
Like,
slightly.
I feel like that's something that happens to everyone. At some point, you spill water or coffee all over your stuff. Because the problem is that these Kings Coast travel mugs, these guys, they're too insulated, so I have to leave the top off when I pour a new cup.
Yeah, because it's incredibly scalding hot.
But then after like 40 minutes, you can put it back on, and then it's perfect.
You're good. See, we're over here on the northeast. Like, I go down to my basement. My basement's like easy 10 degrees colder than what it is upstairs. So if I bring an open top coffee down here, it's like I give it 15 minutes before it's like, oh man, I need a heater.
At best, or I'm not at best, but lately we've been pretty nice. Like, it's 58 degrees right now.
I wake up. I mean, I can't complain. Right now, we're at, what is it? I don't know, mid 40s, low to mid 40s right now.
Yep.
But still, when you wake up in the morning, I mean, it's a solid layer of frost across every window in your car.
No frost, but it was 41 when I woke up yesterday.
Grass is crunchy when you're walking on it and everything.
Grass is always crunchy here, Mike.
Oh, that's true. Good point. Crunchy for a different reason.
Yes. But yeah, it's actually been really nice lately. I've enjoyed it. Danielle and I sat outside one night with a blanket and just shit talked all our neighbors' backyards while we sat in ours.
See, that's nice.
Yeah, it was very nice.
That's nice. Quality, togetherness, shit talking.
It's been pleasant. It's been pleasant. We thought the neighbors over there were putting in a pool, but they're just doing a screen. I don't understand it. I mean, I do, but I don't. If you live in Florida, just put a pool in.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little guy.
So, what's the deal with the fence then? Just to keep gators out?
What, the screen, you mean?
Yeah. Or is it for bugs?
It's bugs.
Bugs, okay.
Yeah. I've lived here for almost 3 years now, and I've seen one tiny gator.
Did you try to catch it?
No, it was in the middle of the freaking pond in the back of my house. I'm not going in there. I'm not stepping.
I thought it was like waddling around.
There is
your
no
property.
amount of money you could pay me to put my foot in that thing.
I wouldn't either. Hell no.
Any body of water in Florida where you can't see your feet, you should not be in. Nope.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Nope. That means you can go in the ocean or the Gulf here, but not in a lake. Not happening. You do not know what's under there. I took a little baby racer snake from my yard. I took a picture. I sent it to you guys. Little guy, but he kept coming back. And I don't really have like snake removing tools, so I just kept using my pool skimmer to pick him up and like lacrosse throw him into the
right into the pond.
Not now, like on the bank. But he was fine. He kept coming back. I guess maybe he enjoyed it. I don't know. So, but I haven't seen him in a while.
Again.
Maybe I snapped his neck on the last one. Who knows? I just didn't want him nipping at the kids. I brought Hunter outside. I was like, look, that's a little snake. And he's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
They're not your friends. Definitely don't,
No.
try to pet them.
I also don't mind snakes around my property. I just didn't want it inside the screen.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Because they'll eat things that I don't want more than them. It's the same concept with frogs and toads. I don't touch them.
Well, the snakes would eat those. You're good.
Right, but they'll eat mosquitoes, and so I don't touch them. I let the circle of life play out.
It's a whole ecosystem.
Florida's a very interesting ecosystem, all the way up to the rednecks and the Hicks.
Yeah, it's when we were in Texas. Actually, I remember at our garage doors we had to put the sticky paper, typically at the corners, because you would get, depending if it was like a newly developed area or not, but you get like baby rattlers that would come in, or And I felt bad for the little salamanders because the salamanders would come in too and they'd get stuck.
Yeah.
But it was more for the snakes that were coming in underneath.
I had a snake get stuck in my garage closer thing. Like, I guess I closed it one time, or Danielle closed it and it got stuck. So I came out one day and there was a dead snake just half in the garage and half out. Oh, that's a hell of a way to go. I'm crushed by how many pounds of weight?
I forget what state it was, and I'm probably gonna get flamed for. I want to say it was like Utah or something like that, and it was a total pick your poison type place to live. No pun intended, because it was either you'd go down in your basement or something like that, you'd see a black widow. You were like, okay, I have black widows, which means if I have a black widow, I don't have scorpions. Vice versa. Or rather, the black widows keep the scorpions away. If you don't have the widows, then you have scorpions somewhere. So it's kind of like, you take the one that you know where it is versus the ones that are hiding in things.
Sure.
So I was like, oh my God, how about I just know?
That sounds like an Arizona, New Mexico situation.
I forget what state it was. It very well could have been
Nevada,
Arizona.
Maybe. That's what that sounds like. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, you'd keep the Black Widow where you could see it at all times, type of like,
right.
Let me see your hand situation.
Exactly. Like, all right, I'd rather that because I know he's, killing the shit out of these little scorpions that are probably like
when we lived
hiding in bins and stuff.
When we lived in Queens, when we first got married, I had a spider outside the back window that I named Shelob. That was the size of a quarter. Like, its body without legs was the size of a quarter.
I used to have a intense fear of spiders.
I don't like them. Like, there's people that like them.
No. Okay, I don't like them, but I used to get that like, not quite like goosebumps, but that just unsettled feeling looking at a spider.
I don't get it looking at them, but when they get too close, that's when I get it.
Nah, just like looking at them.
I told you the story of the wolf spider in my house on the water cooler thing. I was changing the bottle and I could see it looking at me. When you can see a spider, when you make eye contact with a spider, you know it's a pretty damn big spider.
Yeah, if you could see the eyes, it's yeah.
So that was an experience. I've told that story before.
Yeah, I ended up doing like basically in an occupation where I forced myself to be in tunnels with lots of spiders, and I very quickly got over my fear. Money does solve a lot of problems.
Yes, it does. I don't usually bother spiders unless they're in my house. That is the only time I'm like, get out. You're done. Goodbye.
Yeah, I would find them on me and I would kind of just like, pick them, like not pick them up, but let them crawl on my hand and just kind of put them down. Fine. Now, I did have a buddy that ended up getting bit by a recluse, and that was a bad day for him.
Yeah, doesn't that like mess with, doesn't that like, doesn't it do something to your skin and stuff too, and like scar you?
It kills tissue hard. So they actually ended up, I don't know what the proper medical term is, but they, for all intents and purposes, pitted his arm. It was on his forearm. So you like imagine like a little mini like ice cream scooper, and they just went and scooped the big
like they do with a wart or something.
Out. Yeah.
Yep.
So you had to like do that. So he had a big freaking hole in his forearm for a while.
I have a tiny one of those from a wart I had somewhere on my arm. I can't find it now.
Did they freeze that off?
Yeah, they froze it off, and then they like cut it like underneath and dug it up. So I have like this little white concave spot somewhere on my
I
arm.
have this little like weird bump like right on my back, and I went to the doctor and they're like, oh yeah, it's a cyst, we could take it out like if you want. And I'm like, well, what is that? What are you going to be doing? I'm like, oh, we cut it open and pull it out. I was like,
I have this.
Do I have to? I have to.
I have this thing on my leg that the doctor said is a calcium deposit. Danielle thought it was like an old blackhead, like one of those ancient ones from Dr. Pimple Popper. She's like, go to the dermatologist. So I went and they're like, no, it's just a calcium deposit. It's more work to take it off. So you just leave it. And she can't stand it because it's brown and it just sits there. And it's like right in the middle of one of my tattoos too.
The only reason I went to get it checked out is because Allie's like, no, you have to go to the dermatologist. Same thing. And I went and the one good thing is that I discovered, she's like, yeah. I was like, well, what causes this? Like, oh, trauma to the pore and things like that. I looked over at Allie. I go, Wonder what kind of trauma I could have gathered right in that spot. Miss, I like to destroy you with my thumbs. Trying to pop something, man. And I was able to put the blame on her for that.
Yeah, Danielle loves to we'll be laying in bed and she'll be like, roll over. And then she just goes searching on my back and body for anything she can find to pop or scrape off, or she's like a monkey trying to clean another monkey. It's very, very, very. I'm like, am I going to get sex out of this, or what's going to happen here?
What's the trade-off?
Because this is very uncomfortable while I'm trying to watch television. Speaking of television, I'm all caught up on The Expanse, but there's a new episode tomorrow. I think I said that in the last episode. But I started Letterkenny. I know Wayne hated the season.
Yeah, I saw Wayne mention that it was garbage.
But it's definitely not like those prime mid-season Letterkenny.
Yeah, not the best material.
Yeah, there's still some really funny stuff. Like
as long as I could take away one-liners from it, I'm good.
You can. It's a little bit. Some of the one-liners are convoluted, and they're kind of recycling some stuff they don't have to recycle.
And to an extent, I gotta respect it, because even after one season, how do you continue on that level?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But to get you excited in this season, Gail and Jim Dickens are banging in this season. So. And apparently Jim Dickens is packing heat, so everyone in town is talking about that. She's like, you want to know how big it is? And she's doing like her gyration thing that she does. She's like, imagine a paper towel roll, but you remove all the paper towels and you're left with just the cardboard piece. Double the size of that.
Oh, she's a great character.
Gail is my favorite character on the entire show. I'm not crazy about Wayne's girlfriend. Sometimes she has her moments, and sometimes she feels like she's out of place. But I also think that's bias against like Dan, Derry, Wayne, and Katie always being like the group.
Right.
And you introduce someone new, and you're like, well, she's not technically part of the group because they were the group.
Yeah.
So, but there was a very funny episode where they're teaching the youth of the town like not to be shitheads. And they turned it into like this whole. It felt like a school assembly.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's what it felt like. Like Wayne was leading it, and he was like, "Gail's gonna come up and because Gail owns Modine's now, so Gail's gonna come up and she's getting everyone some pop and some chips and some hot dogs. Let's give it up for Gail." So it was good, and then I felt stupid when I said because Riley and Jonesy joined the coach's beer hockey league. And the coach is just hammered in every scene. Just absolutely annihilated.
It's a beer league.
Exactly. That's what they keep saying. Like, we're not here to play hockey. We're here to drink before, during, and after the game.
Valid.
But that was good. So I'm like 4 episodes in now. I made a list of stuff I have to watch. I want to watch that Barbarian show on Netflix, but it's all...
Which one's that?
It's about, I think, Germanic barbarians, but I think it's all dubbed, so you have to read the subtitles.
That's a pay attention one, not a...
That's why I haven't watched Narcos yet, because I have to read subtitles.
Okay. Yeah, not a I'm farming something show. Mm-hmm.
You could farm and watch The Expanse. Oh, that was our clip from TikTok, which I want to talk about TikTok with you today.
TikTok? Ooh.
You can farm while watching The Expanse.
You don't have to pay attention to the storyline?
You do, but I don't know. Maybe you're different than me. I can completely tune out the game, still enjoy it, and pay attention to what I'm watching.
Yeah. I tend to... I'll do that, but I focus way hard.
Oh, okay.
On
then
like
don't
the
do
game.
That.
So if I ever have something running, it's something I've already watched, and it's just background noise.
I'm still playing WoW, but I feel kind of lost in endgame lately. So I'm just doing dailies and whatnot. I don't want to do dungeons without friends. I hate.
When do you play? Wait, when are you on? Because we did 4 mythics yesterday.
Sometimes during the day, sometimes in the evening, depending on what I'm doing.
Like around is like around 3 or 4 like a good time for you
Probably not because of calls. That's usually a hot call time.
Oh, okay.
Like today I got one at 4, 2:30 before that. Tomorrow I have 4 again.
I'm just going to start letting you know when I'm on.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm also hidden because people bother me.
Yeah. I assumed. Yeah, if you're on, I'm just going to start hitting you up because we ran a bunch and we did a tour gas layer or floor or batch. I don't know. We did a thing of tour gas.
Mm-hmm.
So like getting all that shit done. So I know, like, I want to raid, and I know I need to do especially like now I'll just go through LFR to just kind of get some gear because it's just easier. And talking to Walrus, he's like, yeah, basically you're like one-shotting bosses. It's not really overcomplicated. So sounds like an easy way to get gear, an easy way to, like, you know, tick up on your vault for the week. But other than that, I am just finding immense enjoyment in running Mythic Plus. I love it. It's really fun.
And maybe it was the groups I was running with, but I did not enjoy myself doing Mythics in Battle for Azeroth, not Legion.
Well, so full disclosure, Rocket, typically I only will run them with him, and he is God tank. He's already got like all the pathing down, knows exactly where he's going for the percentage for mob. Like, the guy just fucking knows everything, and it wouldn't be nearly as enjoyable without him in there doing it with us. He, like, in all honesty, makes it easier, but it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. But to kind of circle back to what you're saying, it's not worth doing unless you're doing it with friends.
Right.
That's like, you're not
enjoyment of it.
Yeah, you're not really gonna pug. What did we do yesterday? Like a +6 or something. It wasn't like insanely high, but it was really fun. I got no gear out of it, but yeah, without your friends, you couldn't do that. You might be able to get a pug group, but I honestly feel like pugging it, you're opening yourself up to a really probably not good time.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with you on that one, to be honest. It's not like some other games. I've been, because of the time and, you know, placement of my PC in the house and whatnot. Yeah, I'm still playing like Watch Dogs and Cyberpunk and Valhalla and stuff like that.
That's like with my setup now being in the basement, I just keep my door open, and now that whole side's finished, I can just, like, Grayson will be down here and Allie will be down here, and, you know, the whole TV set up like right there, so everything's wide open and we're all in the same area, so that is kind of nice. I feel like it's kind of weird to be removed for that amount of time. I don't know, maybe it's just being a dad. Just feel weird.
Dad.
Yeah, I feel like you feel a type of way about being removed for that long of a time when I'm actually home. You know what I mean?
I'm at this weird point too where I can play games with Hunter, but here's the issue. And I think we actually talked about this a few weeks ago a little bit, but I can play, like, we finished Miles Morales together. That was so much fun. You know, he'd be like, Dad, can I thwip? And I'd let him, you know, Spider-Man his way through New York City. And then the second he got attacked, he'd throw the controller at me and, like, hide under the blanket because he was like, they're going to get me. So now we're playing the remaster of the Peter Parker one, which is the first one on PlayStation. But the only other game we really play together is Avengers. He also likes the Marvel Alliance on Switch and Mario Kart, so we can do all that stuff together. But I can't play Cyberpunk with my 6-year-old in the room. You know, when you turn and there's boobs and literally no warning. I'm even scared to play it with my wife because I don't know what's coming next. The last thing I need is, like,
hit. Your shoulder's gonna be real sore by the end of that.
Right? Like, the last thing you need is you turn in Cyberpunk and there's like 2 people banging on a couch. You're like, oh, babe, I ever tell you what happened when I was playing GTA? Do you remember?
What was that?
Do you remember? Did I ever tell you what happened when I was playing GTA 5?
No.
We were like 2 or 3 years into marriage before kids. I bought GTA for PlayStation 4. I'm playing it. Did you play the story?
I started to. I never finished it.
Did you get up to the part where you went to the fake Facebook place to hack their system and put a virus in it?
No, I didn't.
So basically, you have to put a virus in their system, and if I remember correctly, I could be remembering this wrong. Somebody on Twitter will probably say something, or YouTube. But essentially, the virus would create porn pop-ups to whoever was using it. I think something along those lines. Or you were trying to log in, you were getting pop-ups. I can't remember. But she literally walked in right as all the pop-ups started popping on the screen. Not 10 minutes before, not 10 minutes later. That exact moment.
What are you playing, Kevin?
Yep, he knows. Yep. So now when she's in the room, I pretty much just play Valhalla because that's her speed. She doesn't mind me decapitating.
Two things Allie plays. Well, three things Allie plays. She plays Call of Duty, she plays Borderlands, and she plays GTA.
GTA is fun. Speaking of that, did you hear Lucas? So Lucas Film Games is a thing now as a publishing house.
See the little homage to the old school logo?
Mm-hmm. And then
looks really good.
Massive is now working on a Star Wars game.
I heard that. And so yeah.
So Massive is working on a Star Wars game. So I'd love to hear your 2 cents on what happens to the Division 2 now.
The Division 2, while saddened to say, admittedly, I think the Division's done as a franchise, done as a game.
Was the murder of Division 2 because they made Division 2 instead of continuing to just build Division 1 as an engine of sorts?
I personally think they should have built out the Division 1. Personally, I think, and now some of the stuff that they came in with Division 2 was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it would have been a much better experience to build out Division 1. Even if you wanted to go to DC like after that, that's fine. But to continue to grow that world, I think would have been the better move. Building a second game, I don't know. I don't think it was.
No, but you look at, okay, so here's the pushback whenever I say that. You look at what Destiny's doing. They actually have to minimize their game and available areas because they're trying to put Destiny 1 stuff back in, but they're having to take things away to do that.
And I also think that's a bad move. Like, what is it? I mean, is it because the coding? Is that why? Because there's not enough space?
Hard drive space, coding. There's a number of things.
But I mean, so that comes down to like Activision Call of Duty. There's no reason why Modern Warfare needed to be 200 plus gigs. That was insane. It still is insane. That game still takes up stupid space on my hard drive, even after I removed things like special ops and campaign and shit.
Yep.
It's still like there's no reason for that to be the case. No reason it should be that big. Not when you have games like World of Warcraft, like huge world MMOs that don't even take up like half. What does World of Warcraft take up right now?
130 is it up to? Maybe a little less. No, it's less because ESO is more than that, and ESO is like 120 or something. It's up there, maybe 90 to 100 ish, somewhere in there. I don't know.
We'll be generous and we'll say 100 gigs. That's still half of what fucking Call of Duty was, and it's bigger. What's the file size for Destiny? I don't have it installed, so I have no fucking idea.
I don't have Destiny installed.
Can we Google this shit?
So Let me see. I couldn't tell you.
Hold on.
World of Warcraft is currently. No, I don't want to uninstall. Why won't it tell me the size? It won't tell me the size. It's big, I know that much.
All right, so as of September of 2020, I can't seem to find anything better than that. September of 2020, Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, including all updates, is currently 120 gigs on PlayStation, 111 gigs on Xbox, and 95 gigs on PC. This is Shadowkeep as of September 26, 2020. Thank you, Google. Okay? 95 gigs. My phone goes off. No, shut up. All right. You're telling me you can have a world so big, as big as WoW.
Mm-hmm.
As it currently stands,
Okay,
this is September 1st, 2020. September 1st, 2020. Mm-hmm. As it currently stands, World of Warcraft requires around 62.3 gigs of hard drive space.
That's it? I feel like it was way more.
This means that the new expansion will be either adding close to 40 gigs of space for future content. So you're looking at roughly 100 gigs. Right?
Yep.
So Destiny 2, 100 gigs. World of Warcraft, 100 gigs. But Destiny needs to pull content out. I feel like Worldcraft is a bigger game.
I mean, by scale, by pure scale of game, landmass, activities, it's bigger. Yes.
So like that, like to me, and I don't know why Destiny 2 file sizes need to be so big or whatever but still, the removing that content like that, I don't know. I think it's a bad move. I don't think that's something good.
Yeah. No, I so back to what, let's loop back around so we don't lose sight of where we are. Back to that.
Fair.
So you think the Division could have built out Washington, New York, Tokyo, like we could have gone on a grand scale?
Could you imagine a Tokyo Yakuza spinoff?
Yeah, it would have been awesome.
It would have been insane.
The thing was, I think when you talk about that stuff, though, is how do you make the Division international when it's, a U.S. agency in lore? So I hate to see the Division go down like that. When I played it, it was fun. I enjoyed the agent hunts, but other things took precedent because, I don't know, they seemed more fun. So I kind of put it down and never picked it back up again. I'm almost tempted to pop in
things about it.
Do whatever story stuff I haven't done.
There was a lot of cool things. A lot of cool elements. I really enjoyed the survival in 1.
Loved survival.
I loved the play loop. I loved farming for the gear sets and doing all that stuff. I loved that. I loved underground. I loved all these awesome like facets of the game were great. And Destiny and Division 2 has, its own, again, cool little parts about it. And it just sucks that it's two separate entities. Would have been, I guess the counter argument to that is that it didn't really have a big enough player base to fill out all those activities.
It had a decent one, but, they would leave quickly as well. My thing with the Division was, too, with min-maxing, you had to put time in to get the build you wanted. Aside from maybe 3-4 weeks after the release of content, I really didn't have the time to sit there for months and months and months and farm for that perfect build a la Diablo. So I don't know. It just never clicked for me in that sense.
I'm sad to see it go. I think it is done. I think especially since they have a project ready to go out, ready to work on rather.
Yep.
I think it's more than just taking a back seat. I think they're going to look at everything with the political and social climate, and they're just like, yeah, this just isn't. Which it's a game, and like we talked about last episode, like you can't tell someone to remove political whatever from a game. Like it's going to be there. So I don't think that the game should necessarily be removed for that sole purpose, but I think the totality of everything right now is just.
I think it'll get expansions and things like that, but I don't think it'll be what it was now, and they won't be this huge deal around them. And I don't know.
You think that it'll still be able to? survive even with just like a skeleton live team?
For a few years, and then they'll reassess and see where it's at. You know, I look at a game like Star Wars: The Old Republic. How many years have they survived with a skeleton team? They also have the Star Wars IP in their pocket, so I'm sure that helps. But
I think, given everything, with the fact that it's centered in DC and like just the way that the culture is going, or like that like would be going, whatever plans they had for DLC, they would probably have to think twice about and or pivot, which is a lot of extra work. And when you talk about return, ROI for it, is it worth it?
Yeah. Well, we'll find out.
Well, what the fuck do we know?
So the new game, the Star Wars game, I want to be excited, but they use the words open world and story driven.
You're holding your breath, though.
Of course.
You have to.
I held my breath with Jedi Fallen Order. It was very difficult to temper my expectations, but my expectations were met there.
But Respawn, and here's the thing. So let me ask you this. Do you think, so EA has exclusivity?
They don't anymore.
Well, but so that contract is now null and void, or is that contract still good till 2023?
No one knows the details. My assumption is that maybe this massive game and whatever else they have coming down the pipeline won't come out till after 2023.
That's kind of so like these studios are permitted to start working on Star Wars content, but it can't be released until that contract is completed.
Yeah.
That makes the most sense, right?
Yeah, that's my assumption.
So, but they've also said that EA is still going to be permitted to work on Star Wars projects even afterwards. So
I think, because it's a publishing house. So, Respawn has to make 2 more Fallen Order games. It's a trilogy.
So that's my next. So do you think EA DICE keeps Battlefront, EA Respawn keeps Jedi Fallen Order forever? Like, that's their titles. I don't see anybody else coming out with a multiplayer shooter Star Wars. And maybe Squadrons. Maybe they keep Squadrons.
Squadrons has support probably for X amount of time, and then I don't think it will last, because I don't think the PvP in Squadrons is like this crazy awesome thing. Battlefront, they definitely turned that game around and made it into something. It wouldn't shock me to see a Battlefront 3 in a few years, but I feel like they're paving the way for other stuff. I think that Fallen Order was such a hit with no microtransactions, a good story, and a nice exploration of the universe that the next few Star Wars games will be story-driven and open world, like they said in this one. But this is why I transitioned from GTA. I think this will have a story like Red Dead. Take it like Red Dead. Red Dead had a really long, like 60 to 80 hour story if you did everything. And it was fantastic, and you got to experience the open world. And then Red Dead Online, for all its faults and what it is actually a great concept to drop people in that same world and have them do activities and whatnot. I would venture to, I'm not going to say venture to guess, but I think it would be cool if they followed that model.
That would be incredible. Could you imagine a Star Wars Online like Red Dead?
Right, that's where my head is at, because they're never going to make another MMO. But what if they do a Star Wars Online like that, and each planet is like 50 to 100 people, but each planet is its own server too?
That would be incredible. Go around bounty hunting.
Right, and then you travel between places, kind of capture the magic of an MMO with non-force users, force users, but don't force anyone to be like healer and tank and stuff like that.
Star Wars EVE Online.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And maybe they do ship battles as another server. Like you have to travel through space to get to your destination and get to hyperspace lanes and stuff.
I would love that. That would be awesome.
Again, I have no idea, but when they say that, that's where my head goes, because I can't think of another online way to keep people vested in a game aside from currently that would fit the Star Wars model the way that Red Dead and GTA exists.
I think if they don't do that, huge missed opportunity. Huge missed opportunity. Now, I think with EA losing the stranglehold it has over SW right now, I think EA is going to EA. EA is EA. And a huge cash cow for them is Battlefront. Battlefront is DICE. EA slaps Star Wars Battlefront on a game and they're printing money.
Anyone can do that.
They're printing money. I think I would bet there will definitely be a Battlefront 3. I don't think it will come until after 2023 contract end. I don't foresee a Battlefront 3 within the next couple years.
So if you look at their way they're presenting information, there's no Star Wars Celebration this year. There is one next year. So that's when they like to make big blockbuster announcements. I think they, on one side they said this year, no, there's going to be no COVID, or COVID's still going to be a thing, so we're not going to meet next year. We're not going to risk it. But in 2022, we should be back to cons and things like that, As COVID becomes endemic, with vaccines and everything along the way, it'll be nothing more than a cold at some point.
Right.
Which means we can get back to doing what we did before.
Hopefully.
Albeit, hopefully, making slight changes in sanitary ways, cleaning and, if you are sick, maybe you should freaking wear a mask when you go out.
Being more respectful of each other's space.
Yeah. So that aside, I have a feeling you're not wrong, because I have a feeling that while they make these announcements online and whatnot, they're not planning on showing us anything or doing anything huge until August of 2022, when they can meet again and they can make a big freaking deal out of all this stuff.
That's a good point. In person.
Right.
Have all your personalities, all your content creators, all of your influencers.
Because I said to Tim on Star Wars and Scotch that if they're going to introduce either the High Republic to the screen and take it out of the books, or a game, or they're finally going to give us the Old Republic, they're going to wait until that moment. That is not something they're going to do online. The High Republic and releasing it to book form and making the announcement last February was super smart, because it was a nice little slow rollout of this new thing. Let's see how everyone receives these whole new era of Star Wars. Aside from the fact that I'm probably a little bit more than halfway through this book now, and they've retconned so much stuff that, well, not retconned, but no longer possible in a lot of things in the Old Republic, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of the stuff that happens in the High Republic wouldn't make what Legends lore, Old Republic stuff happen. I'm talking in circles. You get what I'm saying. So that was cool. More books are going to come out. We're going to learn more about this new era. The chance to blow it up is next year. And I think it's the same for video games, and possibly the same for the Old Republic.
Well, that's a good point, especially with video games, because how lame would that be to drop a bomb like that on Twitter?
Right.
I mean, how lame, something that big, something that, you know what I mean, to that level, to just drop it as an announcement on Twitter and not kind of allow your community managers or your devs to come out and just completely just make the big deal that it's supposed to be out of it, and just that would be a huge mistake. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Losing my words. To wait to develop it. In fact, most studios should just do this. Just develop in silence and then drop an announcement when it's closer to release window.
Yeah.
That's the play. That's especially something that big. That's the play. Wait, just give it a year. Everyone's, theorizing and all this stuff, and you're really just building hype without doing anything. You're building excitement, anticipation around something that no one has any clue what it even could be.
Crazy times.
It's good.
Crazy
it's
times.
Good.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see. I have a feeling they're going to reveal more studios working on other Star Wars stuff too.
I hope they do. I'm excited for that. Getting back to the old way Star Wars was handled.
Right, because we got some of the best games.
I still got my N64 cartridges, Star Wars.
Oh, you got like, what do you got, Rogue Squadron on there?
Yep.
You probably have the pod racing game.
PS2 Battlefront. I got...
Oh, those were the best.
Yeah, dude, I still got them. They're sitting on my shelf.
So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how they roll this out. And obviously, I think the massive announcement is just the tip of the iceberg for this.
I think it's good news. I think it's good news as far as I'm not overly excited that Ubisoft is the one that's handling it.
Yeah.
It's good news that it's going to other studios. Kind of not thrilled that it's another... I guess I wouldn't go as far as to say EA clone, but Ubisoft has their problems too. So it's kind of like another huge, massive studio like that. We'll see what we get.
We will see. So have you been following this TikTok sea shanty viral thing over the past week and a half?
I haven't been following it, but I saw what was being posted.
Dude, it's so good. I have fully curated my TikTok algorithm to be sea shanties, movie soundtrack songs, which mostly revolve around Lord of the Rings and Vikings and things like that, and scenery across the world, so mountaintops and beaches. That's all my TikTok is. And I'm sitting here going like, I should have did this last year when I was super depressed during COVID. Why didn't I always thought TikTok was stupid, and here I am like, no, all you have to do is just curate your algorithm and your G to G.
I still think it's stupid. I still refuse to get on it. I still refuse to create a profile, and I still get annoyed when I hear this stupid dancing, whatever song's popular that week, as my wife sits there like giggling to herself about. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm telling you, dude.
It's like the 27th, like, mom with 3 kids dancing in her kitchen. Like, I get it.
But you can curate your own algorithm. That's what I'm trying to say. You can make it what you want it to be. I think you should try it. They said that about
YouTube, and then all of a sudden I could get promoted shit.
I think you should try it, dude. Like, this is straight fire, this sea shanty, man. Come on, Mike.
Soon may the weatherman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. We'll take our leave and go.
Danielle's like, when did you become a bass? I was like, I don't know. It just works with my voice. So I'm just going with it.
I don't know. I'm really feeling it for this.
Take our leave and go. Come on, get on it. Download TikTok. We'll hear your review next week. Come on.
I also feel like TikTok could get me in trouble because there's 2 sides of TikTok. There's the mom
you're
side.
Gonna go for your Instagram booty girls.
There's the mom side, and then there's the other side, and I feel like the other side is way dirtier.
I downloaded it, and I haven't seen twerking since the day after I downloaded it because I liked and followed according to a certain algorithm, and now TikTok knows what I like to see, and it's not twerking.
Okay.
But you might get yourself in trouble because you're going to go on there for your Instagram booty girls, then it's going to be a problem.
I hear about this dark side of TikTok, so I don't know. That could be dangerous. That could be like the last straw.
I don't know, Mike. You should try it and roll the dice and see what happens.
Ticks of talk. Not to switch gears on you to IRL sports ball, but
talk about Gritty's face mask.
Did you see the Eagles let Dougie P go?
Of course they did.
Dougie P's gone.
Mike. He was so over it. He tanked the last game of the season.
You think he wanted to go for real? Like you think he purposely tried to get fired by doing that?
He went from beating the Patriots in the Super Bowl to whatever this season was, dude. Come on.
I don't even know what it was.
Exactly. Neither does anyone else who is a fan of the NFC East.
I think if he, I don't like hold him up as this great coach, but he did bring us a Super Bowl. He did bring us a Super Bowl, and the guy deserved like a little bit more, I think.
You wanted him to stick around?
I didn't necessarily want him to stick around, but So I know they got rid of him because they can't get rid of Wentz. And when you look at it like that, it's like, psh. Not to mention, I mean,
but aren't they
Howie
talking
needs to
about
go.
moving Wentz? Like I've seen stuff like Wentz to the Patriots because Cam's not staying.
Well, so if Wentz went anywhere, it was probably most likely to the Colts. If Wentz went, it would have been
Rivers
Indianapolis.
retiring?
He had, or no. So him to the Colts in prep. Peterson to the Jets, possibly. And I know Wayne said that as soon as I said that in the down in our chat. Wayne was like, "Bet you he goes to the Jets." As soon as Wayne said that, and Wayne called it like way ahead of time.
The Jets are like the last stop before you become an offensive or defensive coordinator for an NFL team or go coach in college.
Right, but he's got connections out there, and he could go and get that job.
It's just like free money for 2 years, basically, because
right.
It's the Jets.
But because of the cap, our cap is an absolute mess. Howie hasn't done like shit for us in how many years? I think he should have gone, and we're just in like we're in a shit position where our cap's a mess. The team's divided. Like our head coach is gone. Nobody's gonna want to come over. Nobody's gonna want to come over to our franchise. Why would you?
Well,
so
welcome to years and years and years of misery then.
Yep, that's what it is. We're going to be at Schitt's Creek for a long time.
Sorry, Mike. I know how you feel because I know how you feel. But hopefully you'll get back there and one day hoist this. Actually, no, I don't hope that because I hate the Eagles. So I'm happy this is happening. I'm all for it.
You bastard.
All for it. I'm all for it.
Did you watch the Flyers game, though? Yeah.
No, I watched Tampa. Why would I watch the Flyers game, Mike? I live in Florida.
Come on.
And it was Tampa and Chicago was on NBC. That's the only game I got. So I watched Tampa beat the hell out of Blackhawks last night. And then Rob and I split NHL.
Yeah, I
TV.
saw that. He goes, and when I say anyone, I mean exclusively Kevin. Okay, Rob. Flyers beat Pittsburgh 6-3.
Rob was like, send me the money whenever. And I used the PayPal thing through Facebook to send him the money immediately. And he was like, that was quick.
It's a really good deal.
I'm like, what? Are you complaining that I sent you the money really quick? See? You just do it right there in Messenger. Bang, bang,
dude,
boom.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because it prompts you, doesn't it? Would you like to send now?
Yeah, and it just takes from your PayPal. So I just popped it right over to him. No problem. No questions asked. And he was like, oh, okay.
That's a good deal. Are you running it through Xbox?
I think I can do it on my TV. I have in my bedroom now, I have the Roku TV, but I stopped using the Roku thing because I freaking hate the remote. So I have the new Chromecast. Remember the one that doesn't work with Stadia? And
yes, yeah.
But the Chromecast is
intelligently
great.
Developed.
The Chromecast is great because it curates it's like real good, that app. But it curates everything you have, and then it gives you recommendations based on stuff you watch, no matter what app you watched it on.
Can you get Apple TV shit on Chromecast?
Nope. I have to.
Like if I sub to Apple TV, I can't.
Nope.
Fuck me. The only way to get it is to buy an Apple TV.
No, I have it on Roku.
Oh, you can get it on Roku.
And I have it as it's a native app on my Samsung TV.
I have a Samsung TV.
Yeah, you just download it from the app. You have a smart TV?
Yes.
Then download it from the App Store. It's in the App Store.
But that means I got to switch from my Fire Stick over to my fucking TV.
Just to watch Apple, I have to do that in my bedroom.
Ugh.
I mean, just to watch The Office. Let's be honest about what we're using it for here. That's the only reason. You should watch C. C was good with Jason Momoa.
Yeah?
It took like a little bit to rev the engine, but then when the engine was revved, that shit was wild. And the fight scenes, you'd think a bunch of blind people fighting would be weird and boring. No. Jason Momoa did and made it incredible. He like developed his own fighting style for these blind people and was chopping head. He does this thing, Mike, to make sure they're dead because he usually has this like long sickle-esque thing where he would cut their throat, but he'd go all the way around their neck because you can't see to make sure they were dead.
Oh my God, it was brutal.
It's super brutal. So he like slices, then he just keeps going around the neck, and you see him like as he's doing it, and I'm like, oh,
super brutal.
It has those moments because Danielle would pop in and watch it with me when I was watching it, where both of us would just jump and do the those bloody moments when they do something crazy.
It had the mountain caving in skulls moment,
stuff like that, yeah. Cool. Or they do like it's about to hit them and the camera cuts and you're like, oh,
cool.
There's a lot of that in Vikings too.
All right,
can't wait for you to watch Vikings. I have to finish it. The last 11 episodes.
Maybe we should start that tonight. Maybe
Allie will love that show. Danielle loved Vikings. That and Last Kingdom you should watch. Last Kingdom.
Last Kingdom I'm almost done. Last Kingdom was great.
Fantastic.
I really enjoyed Last Kingdom.
You should, because Fran and Danielle and now Amy Bowman now Amy Havelock as well are all like hot on Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Oh yeah.
They were sending in like he was doing like Christmas Carol readings and stuff. They were like, take your shirt off again. So you should get Allie involved in the Uhtred worship among the women.
I thought that was a great show. I really did. I enjoyed it a lot.
That show was very well done.
Oh, did you watch Norseman on Netflix?
It's in my queue.
I found that hilarious.
George recommended that to me years ago.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, I gotta watch.
It's honestly, it's Vikings meets The Office.
Yeah, I heard it's like a dark comedy, right?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hilarious.
I made a list of what I want to watch. Oh, I finished The Good Place. I did not like the ending that much.
Allie was really into that. I never got into that show.
I really enjoyed the show and the journey was fun, but the last season overstayed its welcome by like 6 episodes. I was like, okay, I'm over this now. Just finish. So it was one of those marathons where you're like, I just have to finish so we can finish.
Just to get it over with.
Yeah.
Just be done with it.
All right, Mike. I got to jump to a call at 1, and I know you got to do stuff with your kiddo.
That's perfect. Yeah, my kid's got to go.
So thank you for tuning into episode 12 of The Old Fashioned. You got 2 this week because you didn't get any last week, so we made it up to you. So now we're back on track.
Yes.
We didn't get to do any of the questions, so but that deck comes next week.
We quickly filled 55 minutes. Wayne Standard.
Is it? Did you ask him? Because he hasn't said anything,
didn't.
which means he's probably not. Well, it just came out today, actually, while we were recording. So, cool. Thank you so much for being a part of this episode. Go to kingscoastcoffee.com and get that fresh, roasted, delicious coffee delivered right to your front door. Because why are you going to go out and spend money on Starbucks when you can get better coffee delivered to your house? Patreon.com/raredrop. I still have to talk to Ben about what he wants us to do, probably Q&A stuff. So I will ping him about
that.
I
really like that idea.
And are you streaming it all next week or anything soon?
My next 2 weeks are absolutely fucked.
So no mic on stream. You can see me on Rare Drop stuff though coming up. Cool. RareDrop.co. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next week for episode 13 of the Old Fashioned Podcast.